Good morning, students. Let's move on to the next organelle that are the mitochondria. Mitochondria has got two membrane covering. Okay, the outer membrane, it is like this. The outer membrane, it is porous. Okay, it is porous. That means it has got small pores, whereas the inner membrane is folded. Okay, it is like this. The inner membrane, the outer membrane, it has got two membranes, and one is the outer membrane is porous and the inner membrane is folded structure. Okay, and these folds, as you have studied in class 7, just like the villi is also the villi also you have studied in the small intestine. They are like this. So what happens when there are folds? What will happen? It will increase the, if you make it straight, it will increase the surface area for absorption. So here also the mitochondria, just now I told you, it has got folded structure. What is the reason for its fold? Is that it increases the surface area for ATP generating chemical reactions. Okay, the mitochondria is known as the powerhouse of the cell. And why is it called the powerhouse of the cell? Because the energy required for various chemical activities, all the chemical activities, it needs energy. So all the energy required for various chemical activities for the life is released by mitochondria in the form of ATP molecules. Okay, what is ATP? ATP is adenosine triphosphate. So ATP is also known as the energy currency of the cell. And mitochondria has got one more very strange feature, is that these are the organelles because which have their own DNA and ribosomes. Okay, this is an organelle. Usually DNA and DNA, you have studied that DNA is found only in the nucleus, but in mitochondria also, mitochondria have got their own DNA and the ribosomes. So since they have got ribosomes, you know what does the ribosome do? The ribosomes are responsible for protein synthesis. So mitochondria can make their own proteins. Okay, children? Then the next organelle are the plastids. Plastids are present only in the plant cell. And there are two types of plastids. One are the chromoplast, which are the colored plastids, and the leukoplast, which are the colorless plastids. About this you have already studied in class 8. Chromoplast contains the pigment that is called as the chlorophyll. Okay, it contains the pigment chlorophyll, and chlorophyll are present in the chloroplast. And you all know chloroplasts are very, very important for the process of photosynthesis. Chloroplasts also contain yellow or orange pigments in addition to chlorophyll. That is, other than green, they also contain yellow or orange color pigments. Then leukoplasts. What do the leukoplasts do? The leukoplasts have got, it stores starch, oils and protein granules. Okay, starch, oils and protein granules are stored by the leukoplast. The chloroplast consists of numerous membrane layers embedded in a material called the stroma, and these are similar to mitochondria in external structure. So just like the mitochondria, plastids also have their own DNA and ribosomes. Okay, so which are the two organelles that have got their own DNA and ribosomes? One is the plastids. Just now I told you plastids, and before that I told you about the mitochondria. Okay, so mitochondria and plastids, they have got their own DNA and the ribosomes. Then the last organelle are the vacuoles. Vacuoles are the storage sac. Okay, it is just like a sac. Vacuoles, if you look at the figure, you will find vacuoles. They are usually, the vacuoles are small in the animal cell, whereas the plant cells have got very, very large vacuoles. In the plant cell, it may occupy almost 50 to 90% of the cell volume. See here, you can see this is a plant cell, and this is the one you can see, this is the vacuole. You can see the nucleus is smaller, whereas and the vacuole has covered the maximum space. Okay, so in a plant cell, the vacuole almost occupies 50 to 90%. You can see 50 to 90% of the cell volume is occupied by the vacuole, and these vacuoles are full of cell sap. Okay, it is full of cell saps, and it provides turgidity and rigidity to the cell. I told you plant cells have to be very, very strong. So whatever turgidity and rigidity the plants have got, it is because of this vacuole. And many substances are stored in the vacuoles, and these include the amino acids, sugars, and various organic acids, and some proteins also. Okay, many important things: amino acids, sugars, acids, proteins, they all are stored in the vacuole. Then you have already studied in class 7th about the single celled organism like amoeba. Amoeba captures the food with the help of the food vacuole. Okay, and the amoeba, whenever the amoeba sees any food material, what does it do? With the help of pseudopodia, it captures the food. And then in unicellular organisms also, some specialized vacuoles play very important role, and it also plays important role in throwing out the excess waste water and waste material from the cell. That is in unicellular organisms. Okay, now you have studied that about that cell. It acquires its structure and it has got the ability to function because of the so many organelles, okay, which are present in the cell. We have studied about various cells: mitochondria, plastids, Golgi bodies, lysosomes, and all these. Therefore it all, because of these organelles, since these organelles do specific functions, and these different organelles helps the cells to perform functions, various functions like respiration, nutrition, excretion. So that is why, as I told you in the beginning of the cell, that the cell is the basic and structural and fundamental unit of life. Then we come to the last topic of the chapter, that is the cell division. Now see, you all know that new cells have to be formed in an organism. And what is the need for the new cells? Because if the cell has to grow, it needs new cell. If it has to replace the old cells, then also new cells are needed. Then if there are dead and injured cells, that also has to be replaced by the new cells. And also to form gametes required for reproduction. For reproduction also you need the cells. So the process by which new cells are made is called as cell division. So by cell division, what happens? When the cell divides, new cells are formed. So usually there are two types of cell division. One is the mitosis and the other one is the meiosis. Okay, the mitosis is the process in which each cell, okay, called the mother cell. Here you can see the figure. See, this is the mother cell. Now, in the process of mitosis, the mother cell divides to form two identical daughter cells. Can you see here? It is dividing to form the two identical daughter cells, and it will have these, the inside that you can see, these are the chromosomes. So, the daughter cells have the same number of chromosome as the mother cell. These are the daughter cell, this is the mother cell. So, you can see the number of chromosomes. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you can see that the daughter cell has same number of chromosome as the mother cell. And what does it do? It helps in the growth and repair of tissues, the process of mitosis. Whereas in specific cells of reproductive organs or tissues in animals and plants, okay, they divide to form after fertilization, meiosis. After the fertilization, they give rise to the offspring. You have studied this. So what do? They divide. This meiosis is a process of division of a different process. Now here what happens? There are two consecutive divisions. Okay, you have just now, that is the difference between mitosis and meiosis. In mitosis there is only one division. directly into daughter cells. Whereas in meiosis, there are two consecutive division. Consecutive division means one after the other. So when a cell divides by meiosis, it produces 4 new cells. Okay, instead of 2 cells. Here only 2 cells were produced, but here since there are two consecutive division, in the first division 2 cells, in the second division 4 cells are formed, and the new cells which are formed have only half the number of chromosomes than that of the mother cells. Here you can see it has been divided into half. See, you can see now 1, 2, then the next 1 and 2, then the next 1 and 2, and this 2. So that means the after division, the daughter cell will have just half the number of chromosome than that of the mother cell. Clear, children? So this is the difference between mitosis and meiosis. Okay, I hope the chapter is clear to all of you. We have finished with the chapter. Please read the chapter properly, and children, you will have to do the question answers on your own. Study properly for your test and be safe. Thank you.